Hi guys, my name is Christina Lauer and I'm a senior social work major. I chose to do my research on the sociological effects that divorce has on children. I chose this topic because I'm extremely passionate about working with children and divorce is a topic that will be very prevalent in my field. Therefore, I wanted to become more knowledgeable on this topic so I can advocate and provide all necessary resources for all my clients and, of course, their children. Let's begin with my abstract. I examined the overall sociological and developmental risk that divorce has on children. And I found that divorce can, in fact, be detrimental to a child's emotional well being. These children often grow up struggling with behavioral and economic issues, and oftentimes a social worker is brought into play because they have the necessary resources and educational background to help guide these families down an overall path of success. The keywords in my abstract include developmental and sociological risk, children, divorce, and social worker. The introduction for my research paper talks about the sociological effects of divorce on children. I found that divorce rates have increased over the last 150 years, and because of this, children are ultimately facing the consequences. I have found that divorce can oftentimes diminish a strong family bond, causing a negative impact on children no matter what their age is. The population that is highly impacted during this is children and adolescents. There's definitely a difference in developmental issues depending on the age of the child or adolescent. The younger the child is, obviously, the more dependent they are going to be on their parental figures. And when there is a separation that happens between the parents, the child oftentimes favors one parent over the other. There also might be a lack of independence because the child's parental bond was broken too soon. And when the bond between a parent and child is broken, the child's life is often turned upside down, and oftentimes their emotions can run wild. They may start to feel sad and confused, and possibly that their parents are not caring for them properly, or they might fear that their parents may walk out of their lives forever. Included in this, there may be an emotional roller coaster happening during divorce, but there also might be communication errors as well. In a high conflict environment, there's often a lack of communication for children. They oftentimes become confused and cannot find the right words to say to their parents, uh, or they feel as if they can no longer talk to them about their issues. This is sad to see because children may start to feel abandoned or like they are a burden to their parents, and communication is obviously extremely important for any relationship. So it's highly important for families to attempt to better their communication skills. If a child is raised in a high conflict environment, it opens the doors for developmental and sociological risk. If a positive environment surrounds a child, they will develop positive feelings. So the same thing goes for a negative environment. A child will often develop the same behaviors as their parents, and they will mimic their actions. This is extremely important because a negative-based environment may show a child that it is okay to act out, and they may also face anger and depression. These emotions can oftentimes be scattered and different for each child. So next I spoke about the attachment model by Bowlby, which recognizes and depicts the relationship between individuals such as parents and children. This theory is extremely important because it can act as an outline for assessments, interventions, and evaluation for a social worker. It can also help better emotional attachment between parents and their children, which has been broken during the divorce. Next in my paper, I focused on how often children in a divorced family setting struggle when they grow up. No matter the amount of effort a parent puts into helping their children, they often suffer economically and with their behaviors as they grow older. The income of a single parent is oftentimes lower than normal, so these children often grow up in rundown neighborhoods which harbor bad influences. Living in these neighborhoods often makes for an inferior education, and the schooling they may be and may not be as high functioning or have enough resources to properly help these children increase their quality of education, causing them to struggle academically. Once these children begin to struggle, their parents may also not have the means to, seek further attention for their studies, such as hiring an independent tutor or getting technological resources for them. Now, finally, I spoke about how important it is to seek guidance from a professional when you have a situation such as this one. A social worker is trained to help in these types of situations. They have the education to help families overcome these circumstances and walk down a path of success. A social worker can advocate for the family members and help provide any necessary resources that will help them effectively minimize the stress levels in the households. They can also help the family put together a schedule outside of any legal agreement that can help each family member stay on the right track for during these hardships. Now, I concluded my paper by talking about the increase in divorce and how that can be extremely detrimental for any child in the household. Although this may be difficult, it is highly necessary to seek professional attention when having any issues with divorce. This can help secure a family bond that can ultimately help children develop sociologically, and this is extremely important. Um, Now at the bottom here, I also have all of my necessary references listed. And I just want to thank you all for taking the time to listen to my presentation and read my paper.